Oh, you're embarrassing me. Oh goodness. Oh god. Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally here. I say that as if I've been watching Demon Slayer for a while, but I actually just finished a couple days ago. And by a couple days ago, I mean I finished the series about 4 hours before I saw the movie. But today I'm here to give you guys my review, my take on Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train, aka Infinite Train. I don't know. I put the symbol. I think it's a pretty cool train I drew too, just from memory. Impressive, I know. So yeah, I have 4 categories lined up: location, setting, story, characters, and animation. It's gonna be a pretty rough review in terms of structure, but I've jotted down all my thoughts and I'm ready to go. If you're new to the channel, drop a sub, hit that big boy bell. I'm getting close to 100,000 subscribers. I post all kinds of random anime content that you won't want to miss. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Also, forewarning, there will be spoilers in this review. I wanted to talk about it without it, but as I went along, I realized I couldn't because I have a lot of thoughts to get out. So I would recommend either seeing the movie first or you're gonna get spoiled. I would definitely recommend seeing the movie. It's amazing. Spoiler alert. So Mugen Train takes place on, yeah, you guessed it, a train. We have our heroes Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, and of course Nezuko. And they've been sent to this train with the Flame Hashira Rengoku, who we don't know much about, aside from the fact that he's the Flame Hashira, and of course Tanjiro wants to ask him some questions following the events of season 1. And we also know that the demon at the very end of season 1 is on this train. One that was given blood directly from Muzan has a lot of power, hoping to break his way into the upper echelon of demons, which killing Tanjiro and all of them would definitely do. Just from the start, we get an insane look at how powerful Rengoku is when they kill the first demon. I think he does his first form and then it lines up like 1,000 candles and zooms out and he just shoots through all of them, putting them all out. My god, when I saw it, I was like, oh, whoa. Strap in real quick. Gotta warn me before you show me something like that. And I've said it before, but Rengoku from the beginning, or like from when we first saw him, he kind of gave me Lemillion vibes from MHA. Like really powerful, really giddy kind of guy, but very nice at heart, which we will get into later. So since it's first up on the board, let's talk about the location slash setting. I was a little bit skeptical going into the movie because I was like, it's a train. Like how much can you actually do? This isn't the Polar Express. They're not going to the North Pole. They're not going to be ice skating. It's all on a train. I don't even know where it's going, to be honest. And their job is basically just to defend all the passengers in case anything happens, since there's been a lot of murders on this train. Speaking of which, I don't know how people have heard that there's been like 60 deaths on this train in particular, and they're just like, hey, discount tickets, baby, let's go. So the movie's kind of set up that Inmu, this demon that's been sent by Muzan himself, will be the main villain of the movie, and he is for the most part. Oh shoot, I need to give location slash setting a score. This is why I hate structure. Location slash setting, I will give a 7 out of 10. Trains. Can I draw 7 trains? Let's see. They're gonna be my version. Wait, let me just Google a train. That one was from memory. Oh no, not the band. Ooh, I'll draw 7 train cars. Oh wait, I drew 10. Okay, the last 3 derailed. Psh, actually, that kind of works. Mostly because there isn't much they could do with the setting slash location, but they did anyways, which I'll also talk about over the course of this review. So the first half of this movie is Tanjiro and all of them in their dreams, because Inmu has enacted this plan where he has all these kids who have like underlying conditions, like one has tuberculosis. He has them tie themselves or with rope to each person, not on the train, but of course all the demon slayers, and then putting everybody on board to sleep, allowing these kids to via the rope go into their dream, and their orders are to stab the subconscious of each demon slayer. This is kind of where Rengoku's character development begins, and we get a nice look at who he is and kind of his mindset in a way. He became a Hashira who his father was, but his father ends up not even being remotely proud of him for becoming one. Yet he encourages his little brother to keep on pushing, keep that passion in his heart. Inside the other dreams, we see Tanjiro with his family, of course. I think that's pretty predictable. Same for Zenitsu and Inosuke. They're quite predictable as well. Zenitsu just spending time with Nezuko. Inosuke kind of the same, with Tanjiro and Zenitsu being his lackeys. He had Nezuko in a bunny suit. Very interesting choice. I was also a bit confused because Zenitsu's whole thing is he falls asleep and that's when he pops off. My only guess is it's because his subconscious was kept busy during this, that he wasn't able to do anything, because we don't really know the extent of Zenitsu's powers yet. But a majority of the kids make their way into like the area where the subconscious is, where it lies, and they get a good look at their souls, each demon slayer's soul. I mean, not everyone makes it there. Like Rengoku's just a land of fire because he has like a passion in his heart. And of course, I loved Tanjiro's, how it's just beautiful blue skies, reflecting water, just the purest soul, the best boy. And I actually kind of teared up whenever the boy with tuberculosis is going to stab the subconscious, and Tanjiro's subconscious is leading him to it. Like they know he's going to stab it to destroy it, but Tanjiro inherently is still putting that boy before himself, instinctively doing that. It was beautiful. The boy whose job was to literally kill him, to destroy his spirit, basically even broke down crying. Zenitsu and Inosuke's you don't focus on as much because you kind of have a general idea of what's going on in there. Inosuke's fighting back literally in his dream. Zenitsu too, once he realized that Nezuko could be in danger. And then I loved the highlight Nezuko got in this movie where she was the only one awake. You can see the gears turning in her head when she like looked around realizing what was going on. Oh, and then of course Rengoku's just sheer willpower of just standing up and grabbing the girl by the throat and just holding her up. My god, this man he's so badass. So eventually Tanjiro makes it out after a very, very depressing scene with his family. And whenever his smallest brother is running after him saying, "Don't leave us," and he falls in the snow, my goodness. Because you know that's Tanjiro's dream, just to have his whole family together again. But he realized he couldn't stay there. Then he gets Nezuko to burn all of the ropes, of course, with her new blood demon art that she found at the end of season 1. And the fight against Enmu really begins. Well, after Tanjiro kind of confronts Enmu at first, cuts his head off, he's like, that was too easy. And Enmu was like, yeah, you're right. Revealing that he kind of put his soul into the train, which was kind of a callback to Inosuke saying that the train was completely evil at the beginning of the movie or at the end of season 1, which as soon as Enmu said he was a train, I was like, those bastards did it. Inosuke was right. We get the badass scene of Enmu putting Tanjiro to sleep over and over again, realizing that Tanjiro had figured out if he kills himself in the dream, he comes back. It was the moment of clarity where Enmu realized, he was like, oh my god, he like realized what he was doing. And how metal is that? I'm pretty sure that alone, that entire concept is what gave this movie an R rating in America. I don't know what it released as in Japan. I don't even know how the ratings work, but I was surprised going into the movie seeing it was rated R. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. He is literally killing himself over and over again. And then the scene with him about to kill himself in real life on accident because he's blurred the lines between reality and dream world. Inosuke stops him. He's like, Tanjiro, don't die like a fool. And before he said that, I realized what was happening. I like held my breath. I talked to my friend Blake about it, and I also agreed it was probably one of my only dislikes about the movie was kind of the animation for the blob that Enmu was. Not that it was lazy in a way, but it felt anticlimactic, I want to say. I don't really know what word I'm looking for. But the blob that the train became kind of felt like a cliche villain in a way. I also loved how as they were about to kill Enmu, or as they're killing him, and as he went to kill every single passenger on board, Rengoku just sliced through all of them. And boy, did I think that was the highlight of Rengoku's career. Of course, this is another nice highlight for Nezuko after she frees the rest of the demon slayers from the connection from the rope, where she's fighting side by side with Zenitsu, which was really sweet. I saw this movie with Naomi, and she told me that as soon as she realized everyone was in Dream World, she's like, oh my god, Nezuko's solo movie, let's go. I wouldn't mind it. I loved whenever Nezuko tried to wake up Tanjiro by headbutting him, and then the blood coming out and her just crying. All the interactions between her and him this movie, where she walked up like mad until he patted her head, just so sweet. So yeah, they kill Enmu, and it was a big climax. I was like, yeah, that was a sweet movie. I liked it a lot. Little did I know that was just Tutorial Island. Akaza, one of the Upper Moon 3, I think that means he was number 3, shows up, and boy, you just feel the tension in the air. As soon as he showed up, I was like, wait, that's not it. And then Rengoku walked out. I was like, something beautiful is about to happen. And boy, was I right. By far, I haven't watched that much anime. I'm gonna be honest. I started watching anime about 2 years ago. I have a whole list. I think the fight between Rengoku and Akaza is one of my favorite anime fights. Probably top 2 or 3. I'll confidently say top 2. Just the tension, the animation, their lives on the line. More Rengoku than Akaza because he's a demon. But this is where all of Rengoku's character development over the course of the movie comes to fruition. You realize they haven't been showing this whole passion in his heart for nothing. They haven't been doing it for the future of the show. They've been doing it for right now. And I could feel everybody in the audience hold their breath as you realize that Akaza had got his entire arm through Rengoku. And then I loved how it incorporated Tanjiro and Inosuke, where Rengoku literally held his arm inside him as Tanjiro and Inosuke ran up to try to assist. I think this fight also highlighted how low of a power level our demon slayers are at, and at how high of an octane that the Hashiras are running. They even mention it. They're like, I can't even keep up. Like, I can't even watch their movements. I can't even jump in to help. I didn't even mention how the conductor stabbed Tanjiro. And as Tanjiro's flying through the air, he's like, I can't die. If I die, that man becomes a murderer. If that's not the most Tanjiro thing he could do. So Rengoku holds Akaza in his stomach, basically. The sun's starting to come up, but he makes his escape. I really wish whenever Tanjiro had run and just chucked his sword at Akaza, that it would somehow kill him. I was like a low % chance, but I really hoped something would happen where he died. But he ends up getting away. Tanjiro's lost another sword, and Rengoku dies. And my god, I cried. I wasn't going into this movie expecting to cry. And I get emotional at movies. I really do. Pretty easily, honestly. But I cried like tears were rolling down, man. It was mostly when the sun is coming up and Rengoku is looking out and he sees his mom standing there, and you hear the wind chime from the flashback. That absolutely just obliterated me. And his words to Tanjiro and the other demon slayers, I can't even emulate. It was so beautiful. But it gave them a look into this real world that they're going into. It wasn't like I mean, he could take on those spider demons, but these upper moon demons are completely different. It leaves Tanjiro saying, you lost, he won, Rengoku won. And they're so in grief that they're just sitting there crying. Even Inosuke, visibly emotional, even behind the mask, doesn't know what else to do, grabs Tanjiro and says, let's go train. The scene with Inosuke running with his blades crying, I just have it stuck in my head. But I cannot wait for this movie to come out on streaming platforms so I can watch that fight over and over and over again. It's one of those fights where you go back and forth on who's gonna win several times. Just the sheer willpower, the sheer like spirit inside of him. Like I said, it'd be hard to summarize. But yeah, before that fight, I thought as the train crashed down and Enmu died, I was like, yeah, that was a good movie. 7 out of 10, I would say. And then that fight started and everything changed. All right, let's rate some stuff. I haven't even touched this whiteboard. Let's go with characters. So I'm gonna rate it based on probably the characters that were more involved in the movie. Let's involve Rengoku, Enmu, and Akaza mostly. And because Rengoku gave his life and I'm sad we won't ever see him again, and because this will play into the future of the show because we're gonna see Akaza down the line, I'll give characters a 9 out of 10. How is this marker? This is new. I'll give characters a 9 out of 10. As for the story, I think the story kind of plays into the location setting. As soon as I saw the whole dream sequence, I wasn't a fan at first, but as the movie started to go on, I could see why they did that. And just by gauging how caught off guard I was by that final fight, the story gets an 8 out of 10. I'll draw the train over and over and over again, but yeah, this poor marker. Oh, I have more. Where are you, markers? Oh, that feels good. The animation. Now, the art style, the animation of Demon Slayer is one of the biggest reasons why it's one of my favorite shows. And the movie didn't let you down at all. I mean, the very first shot with the master, I was in awe. It looked like it was filmed in real life. They did not have to go that hard on the very first scene. And I think before the final fight of the movie, I would have given it an 8 out of 10 on animation. But literally just for that fight, I will give it a 9.5 out of 10. So that leaves us to the final rating. It ties the whole movie together at the end by basically this crow that's been watching the fight tell all the other Demon Slayers what happened. You see all their individual reactions, which many we don't know much about yet, but you can kind of gauge their relationship with Rengoku based on how they reacted. Especially Kocho, because Kocho was probably one of the closest to him. And you feel the tension, you feel the, okay, we gotta focus. Like, this is an insane enemy. Even Rengoku couldn't handle one of the upper moon demons. Now, again, like I said, I'm relatively new to anime. I don't have a ton under my belt yet, but I have watched a decent amount. And I can confidently say that this is the best anime movie I have seen thus far. And it's not even just because of that final fight sequence either. There was not a second during the movie where I thought, I wonder when this is ending. I think those are the movies that you can tell are the most special. You don't have a thought in the world besides what's happening on the screen. Like I said, I'm not even a fan of dream sequence type things, but even that kept me engaged. I'm gonna give Demon Slayer the movie Mugen Train a 9.5 out of 10. I don't know how to fill these in. Okay, this is gonna take a second. Now, you may think I'm rating this too high, and it's quite possible too. I may just be riding off the hype of the movie. I'm not a professional movie reviewer. I'm not Jeremy Johns or Chris Stuckman, though I do love both of those men. Cap pride. But my personal enjoyment of this movie is summarized right there. How many of you have seen the movie? If you haven't and you watch this review, I'm a little mad at you because it's an amazing movie. If you have seen it, what was your favorite part? What would you disagree with me on back there? Be specific too, because I want to have discussions with you guys in the comments. I think this perfectly sets up for what season 2 can hold, which I believe is premiering later this year. If you want to see my reaction to it as well, be sure to subscribe to my reaction channel. I watch a ton of anime over there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I really wanted to talk about this movie because I absolutely fell in love with it. If you follow me on Twitter, I literally called it an instant classic as soon as I got out. And I still feel that way, honestly. Now, who knows? Maybe a year or two down the line, we'll revisit and I'll be like, yeah, it was good. Probably not as good as I thought then. But after some rewatches and stuff, I'll know for sure. But guys, that has been it for the video. I hope you did enjoy. Be sure to drop a like if you want more movie reviews like this in the future. Comment down below another movie I should watch. Maybe that one that's already out that I could do a review on. And as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. As per usual, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.